Tony, I used one of the fear principles and the ability for the athlete to give himself permission to talk to me. And an example is one of my fighters, a young kid, has a lot of self-doubt, has tremendous skills. But you would see him in a fight always get nervous about 2 to 3 minutes into the fight. Really well prepared, strength, conditioning, cardio, nutrition, technical skills, etc. And I always tell my athletes as a coach, you have permission to tell me when you're afraid or you have a doubt in your mind because you know the stuff I've learned from you. And so RJ came to me on his last fight and we noticed he was murdering the guy in the first minute and 45 seconds, 2 minutes, but then all of a sudden he became ultra conservative and obviously afraid at a moment during the fight when he was overwhelming the kid. So I said to him, I said, Arch, you know, what's up? Talk to me. So he said, Joe, I know we do a lot of strength and conditioning. I know we do a lot of cardio. I know my training is top shelf. But whenever I get in the cage, man, there's that time in the middle of the first round that I get so nervous because I feel like I'm out of breath and I'm doubting my training. And so therefore I think that I'm going to gas. And so I usually get real conservative and I stop putting pressure on the guy. And he's undefeated, fortunately. But it was a great moment because then I could say to him, RJ, it's normal. You know, I'm not going to go into the whole energy system, but I explained to RJ, I said, RJ, you have 3 energy systems. You've got your immediate, first 15 second, your ATP, boom, you blow it out. Then you go into your anaerobic mode, which is about a 2 minute on a top end athlete. And then after that, you become aerobic. But MMA is an anaerobic mode. So what happens, I explained to him in front of the grease board,
Nice.
what'd you call it? You grease boarded, whiteboarded.
Yeah.
And I said, here's how your body works, everybody's body works, and then what you're feeling is in the middle of your anaerobic phase. Your heart and lungs are so inefficient trying to catch up with the load, it's trying to deliver so much oxygen and blood to the system, it feels like you're out of breath. And all it's doing is trying to catch up. It's like a diesel engine. It takes a while for a diesel to get going, but once it gets going, man, it rocks. So all you need to do is surf that wave for a little while, trust your training, trust your preparation. You have every right to be afraid and have fear if you aren't prepared, but you were prepared. And there was an aha moment for him where he's like, that's what's happening? I said, yeah, and that's what happens to everybody, bro. It's not a reason to be afraid, it's a reason to be cognizant, surf through it, and then you get your second wind. And since then, it's tremendously changed his approach to his training regimen. So we've used those type of techniques before.
It's awesome, and the thing that is probably most powerful is that you telling your athletes, hey, talk to me, knowing that you've got like a team behind you that you've called me or emailed me over the years and studied all sorts of different things so that I know you. I mean, I've known you almost a decade. That you would bullshit an answer. So you get the information. You go, hey, you should have asked me that during training. It's in the middle of the fight. I don't have an answer. I mean, you come up with something. But no, that's great. First of all, the first thing, commendation, is making it safe for people to say that, and then having respect for the known versus fear of the unknown is huge, especially for a fighter. As a fighter, I mean, I'm more of a coach right now, but when I used to spar or fight, I mean, when I was younger, that was my identity, right? And you know this, you did it too. You get in there, and it wasn't like, hey, let's go light and you tap gloves. It was still very important, right down to your DNA, how you performed. And if you were introspective and mature enough to go, well, like Chuck Norris said, I never lost a fight. And what he meant was, even when I lost, I learned something, so how could you call that a loss? And that's a little too philosophical, when you're 18, 20, 24, 30, maybe 35, maybe 50 for some people. But no, that's huge. If you've got that fear of the unknown, that'll keep you in that fear loop. It'll change. We talk about in one of our articles that your emotional system impacts your psychological system. Your psychological system impacts your emotional system. Both of them influence your tactics. So if you don't have a clear definition on what's happening in your body or what to do, if then go to like a DOS statement, you're a biocomputer. You tell your athletes you're a survival machine, but the software is the training. So I love it. Good work.